So look, I sometimes do get kind of frustrated when people review a game based off of its potential, and I see this for a lot of Sonic games, where people will say, well, I like this game because of what it could have been. 06 is probably the most pivotal example of this, because there is probably a good game there with another year or two of development. I've always been sort of at odds with that mindset and philosophy while reviewing games myself. What we have here is a game that was sold to me for $50 plus adjusted inflation for 2024, so like $500. Yet I will be a hypocrite just for a little bit and say there was serious potential with Sonic Heroes if this game also had another year or so in development, and each team maybe got their own boss fights and levels. You have a really compelling idea for a video game, and it's sad to me the development of this game, clearly being as rushed as it was, essentially neutered it and made it a disliked Sonic game in the eyes of many fans. Sonic Heroes is rushed, it's glitchy, it's not the most well thought out, and it has serious pivotal problems. And yet, it's still the best 3D Sonic game in my opinion. When I say this, I think it's important to distinguish the fact that this isn't really praise for Sonic Heroes as much as I think it's a general marking on the series. I say this not to be negative, but more so I'm frustrated that every Sonic game, including my favorite one, has issues with being rushed or just missing the mark in some form. And I'll get the obvious games out of the way, like Sonic Generations probably is better, but since it's not based on any original concepts and requires context from the rest of the series, I don't really count it. It's kind of like counting a re-recorded greatest hits album as a musical artist's best album. Like, okay, that came from other stuff, bro. Adventure 2 I sometimes think is the best game, but I just find myself gravitating a bit more towards Heroes. And these things are ultimately subjective, so if you disagree with me, I'm suing you for damages. Look, Sonic Heroes to me just does the most right. It has a compelling enough gameplay loop, the presentation is the best this series ever got, and it's just a good time to play as long as you accept it's gonna be a chaotic time. No pun intended.